Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Friday, January 10th, 2025. That is a long time to be a community together, to be learning Torah every single day. It is broadcast 1216. It is also day 462 of war. It is also Asara B'Tevet, a minor fast day on the Jewish calendar, which we'll talk about in a moment. But for now, Rabbi Steph, good to see you. Susie, Penny, Shari, Peter, and Carl, good to see you. Sending love, Peter, to Frankfurt. Hope that you are well. Shari, hope that you are continuing to heal. Let's see who else is here. We'll give each other a chance to say good morning the way we have for more than 4.5 years and move forward here. Chana, Shabbat Shalom, my friend. Good to see you as ever. Lydia and Siona, Ellen, Jerry, Ron, and Lisa, good morning. Hi, Sharon and Cecile, Judy, Deborah, Anava, nice to see you. Thank you for letting us know your name. Chana, you are sending love to all your Los Angeles family, as we all are. We'll talk about them, and please make sure, friends, even before I say it again, go to the UJA website. You can make a donation to our disaster relief fund there. Michelle, welcome. Joyce and Julianne. Lisa, good morning. Linda and Nathalia. Deborah and Arlene. All right. Marilyn, good to see you. Let's take a breath, everybody. Hope the guitar is somewhat tuned. We'll sing a blessing, learn some Torah. Here we go. Kim and Marcia, you'll probably see each other, imagining, at the Lines of Judah conference. Friends, it's good to see all of you. Jerry and Arlene, happy heavenly birthday to your father. What a beautiful way to describe it. And so honored that we get to share your relationship as brother and sister together so frequently. So thank you for being so loving toward each other and for doing it in front of us so we can be part of your family. There is a lot to talk about, friends, and I don't want to miss any of it. It's hard to really try to capture all of this, but let me begin with saying the obvious. Our hearts are completely shattered by the devastation in California, around Los Angeles. There are so many who have lost everything, and we must do our parts, not just to pray, but to act, and to make sure that we do so wisely and with care and with passion. And so please visit the UJA Federation website. You'll see a place to donate for disaster relief. We stand in solidarity with the Jewish Federation of Los Angeles and with countless other organizations that are showing up to support people as individuals and as communities. That's part of who we are and what we are called to do in this moment. We are praying for the emergency responders, especially firefighters. These are incredibly dangerous situations, and There's been loss of life, which is too much. There's been loss of property, which contains memories and religious relics and churches and synagogues and mosques. We are a united community, and we're reminded how vulnerable we all are. So while our hearts for the last 462 days have absolutely been with Yisrael in a powerful and focused way, let's not forget that we are also part of the world beyond the tribe. And this is a reminder that neighbors are neighbors and share in vulnerability and responsibility. It's clear, friends, that the dangers of climate change are very present and do not discriminate between haves and have nots, between different kinds of people who vote differently and love differently and feel differently. Here we all are, called as images of God to show up for each other and to show up as partners in creation. There are decisions we are called to make and to pressure our leaders and business leaders to make that will protect our planet, without which this will become more frequent. This will become more common. And so I want to focus on Torah in a moment, but let us be in and of and for this world of ours, for our friends, for our neighbors, for anyone in need. Our hearts are with you. It is also Asara B'Tevet, the 10th day of the month of Tevet, which is a moment in Jewish history on our calendar where we mark the surrounding of the walls of Jerusalem, by attackers in the ancient world. This is a connected idea that goes through parts of our year. We mark these as what we call minor fast days, but it's hard to imagine that the historic circumstance that leads to the creation of these fast days felt minor to those experiencing it. So let's make sure, friends, if you are fasting, may it be a meaningful fast. If you know someone who's fasting, reach out to them and just say, hey, thank you for thinking so deeply and feeling so deeply for our history and our world. On a fast day that not everyone knows about, it is also time for us to think about all the different things that require tikkun, require fixing in our world. Jerusalem is both a physical place that we are dedicated to and in love with and passionate for and joyful when we are in. It is also a metaphor for the state of the world. It is called in Greek the omphalos, the belly button of the universe. Jewish tradition has told us that measures of beauty were distributed around the world, but primarily Jerusalem got it. Jerusalem carries in its very air the essence of beauty, the potential for a refined world. So, our hearts and our bodies are connected to our history, to our home. Let's learn some Torah for this week. It's Parshat Vayechi, the end of the book of Breshit, the end of the book of Genesis. It's hard to imagine that we are here again. It is 462 days since October 7th, 2023. And to imagine that this is the second closing of the book of Breshit since that devastating day, and 101, 99 actually, with the terrible news in the last 2 days of two hostages, Yusuf and his son. I can't recall his name, and I will look for it. If you have access, friends, while I'm broadcasting, please look up their names so I can say them correctly. 99 hostages for 2 times through the cycle of Breshit are in darkness. And it leads me to look at both this parsha, a midrash on this parsha, and to pray with renewed hurt and hope. So there is part of this parsha where it feels like it's all about death, because Jacob dies, and at the end of the parsha, Joseph dies. But the name of the parsha is not death, it's Vayechi, and Jacob lived, which tells us something, that the story of mortality and the story of urgent life force, that is part of every second. We don't live, as Elie Wiesel said, in one moment. Jews don't live in one moment of history. It's all coursing through us. As Yehuda Amichai writes in a beautiful poem called Shir Ein Sofi, infinite poem, as in a brand new museum in an old synagogue was me. And he begins with this very powerful glimpse into history. Brand new museum, older synagogue, me. Thank you. Their names, Anya, are Yusuf and Hamza. Thank you. May their memories be blessed. Yusuf is the father. Hamza is the son. They are Bedouin Israelis, Arab Israelis, taken by Hamas. And they should have been home with their families, building a better Israel together with their neighbors. We should have been able to meet with them and share rich, bitter tea and coffee, sweet tea, bitter coffee. May their memories be blessed. In this parsha, we see the death of Jacob and Yosef, and Yosef and his brothers get permission to go out of Egypt to bring their father back to the ancestral burial plot, Marat Machpelah, in ancient Canaan. And there's a midrash that actually says something remarkable. Remarkable. That they go and they bury their father, and on the way back to Egypt, Joseph passes the pit where his brothers threw him in. I just want to let that in. It's not in the Torah portion, it's in a midrash about the Torah portion. And the midrash, Breshit Rabbah, suggests that on the way back from burying their father, Joseph stops at the pit that his brothers threw him in when they were children. And I want to read you 2 paragraphs of a beautiful, searing reflection from my teacher, my friend, Rabbi Matthew Berkowitz, who's the vice president of Machon Shechter, the Shechter Institute in Jerusalem. He writes, the Midrash is at once profound and overflowing with emotion. On the journey home to Egypt, Joseph passes by the pit into which his brothers cast him. Rather than flee from his past, Joseph embraces the moment. Psychologically, this is not unlike a survivor of the Nova Festival returning to Re'im, an American soldier returning to Vietnam, a Holocaust survivor journeying to Auschwitz, or an Armenian American visiting a decimated village in eastern Turkey. The victim returns to grasp the reality of the past, to exercise control over the chaos that ensued, and to tell the story. Or perhaps the survivor has another agenda as described by the Midrash. Such a return can be a moment of reconciliation and thanksgiving. It has the potential to be a moment of gratitude for having pulled through the darkest of times. For Joseph, the metamorphosis from powerless Israelite to powerful, quote, Egyptian makes this episode all the more dramatic. Listen to what Rabbi Berkowitz writes next. More than sparking feelings of anger and vengeance, memorials have the power to heal. While the brothers' fear in the Midrash is understandable, what will Joseph feel while standing at the pit? They fail to appreciate Joseph's healing. The pain of the past can never be erased. It waxes and wanes through one's life, urging the victim to tell the story, and more importantly, to continue on the journey of life. Praying for a speedy return of the hostages is how Rabbi Berkowitz ends this paragraph. An end to this war on all fronts. Friends, it is important as we take our next steps in the journey of life that we are blessed to continue. Every morning itself a blessing. Every dawn an unbelievable day of possibility. Even with the pain, friends, even with the pain, with the immediate struggles of our beloved neighbors and friends in Los Angeles, with our beloved hostages, the beloved families and friends of the hostages, with all of us everywhere feeling so deeply The idea, the image of Joseph returning to the pit on the way home after visiting his father, and Rabbi Berkowitz's beautiful suggestion that this, for all of its pain, is also a revisiting with a moment of gratitude, because after all, the ancient Midrash suggests that Joseph went to the pit to recite the blessing that we recite, when we return to a place where a miracle was done for us. I remember in 2014, I was leaving the Knesset. I was leaving the foreign ministry on a visit in Jerusalem. And a rocket was fired from Gaza, and Iron Dome knocked it out not far above my head. Very, very intense memory for me. And I remember returning to that exact spot 2 years later saying, Shasali nes b'makom hazeh, God, you made a miracle for me in this place. Yes, it was a place of trauma and pain. Yes, I get to continue my story with an awareness, with a profound gratitude. We call, friends, to each other in this moment to, of course, feel trepidation to visit places of pain. But we must. We can't judge each other for the pace at which we continue these next, please God, ginger but healing steps. No judgment. But Joseph revisiting the pit is quite a model for us right now, isn't it? It's bravery, it's courage, it's hard, it's healing. We pray for all of our beloveds in Los Angeles. We pray for all of Am Yisrael. We, of course, most of all, pray for our hostages. It's been too long. It's been too long. But maybe one day, may we one day, today, tomorrow, be able to make our next steps forward, visiting the places of pain, but as part of a healing journey. We're about to conclude the book of Breshit. May we feel strengthened going through that together. May the story that Jacob, our ancestor, and Rachel, our ancestor, and Leah, our ancestor, birthed for us, be continued with strength, with love, with healing, and one day with peace. It's Asara B'Tevet, it's the 10th of Tevet. So let me not pick up my guitar to sing into Shabbos. We'll sing on Shabbos. With me, friends, let's send our hearts to the east. Let's sing. Kol od balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homiya ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvateinu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liot am chofshi be'atzeinu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim liot am chofshi be'atzeinu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. Shabbat Shalom, friends. See you on Monday.